What's up, YouTuber fans, streaming fans, cryptocurrency fans? It's your boy Brit VR. Welcome to the show. Today we got a special guest. We got Ivan, Mr. AKA ICO. Thank you for coming to my show. Thank you for the great interview that we're going to have. We got questions, so let's just go straight to the question. How did you get into the cryptocurrency space? I'm just going to start off with that.
So I got into crypto, it was around October 2016. A friend of mine was, I was working at IBM. He was trying to hunt down the director of blockchain at IBM to pitch him something. And he said, "Hey, can you put me in touch?" And I said, "What do you care about this blockchain stuff? What are you doing in blockchain?" So he told me he was a Bitcoin developer. He told me he was launching a hedge fund. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy is my age. What's he doing launching a hedge fund? Right? And he really opened my eyes to crypto and Bitcoin, because before I thought Bitcoin was just something for the dark web, for sketchy people trying to do sketchy stuff. But as a businessman, as a hustler, I didn't know you could actually invest and speculate in Bitcoin and make money on it. So I just asked him some questions. I said, "Hey, how much money are you making?" He told me he was making 200% just buying and holding Bitcoin and Ether. And I looked at those returns, and I compared those to the returns I was making in the stock market, where 20% is good. I said, you know what? I have to learn more about this Bitcoin thing. So I began digging deeper into the rabbit hole, got books on Bitcoin, got the book Digital Gold, got the book The Age of Cryptocurrency, began just really teaching myself, following news sites like Coindesk, Cointelegraph, watching videos on YouTube. And the deeper I went, the more I just got involved, until I went hardcore into crypto around January, February 2017.
Okay.
And then I went full-time into crypto September 2017, when I ended up quitting my job at IBM to go full-time into crypto. And now I'm a full-time angel investor.
Well, I'm happy you got into the market, because anytime I looked up an ICO, I try to run over to your channel just to see what you had to say about anything. So the next question is, what made you speculate on these ICOs? Because, you know, you're actually taking a risk to get into these ICOs, but you obviously had some more knowledge than usual people. So how did you get into these ICOs?
Two reasons. First reason was I gave myself a goal in January 2017 to quit my job by December.
Okay.
So the idea was to make basically over 6 figures from my side hustles. And I looked at everything I was doing, and crypto was the best side hustle I have in terms of the ROI from time investment. And then I saw that ICOs were the best investment from, at that time, when I went to a conference, I went to Token Summit in New York City around May. That was my first ever crypto conference. And my first time meeting crypto millionaires and asking them questions over drinks, over dinner, they all told me they made the money on ICOs. Even though they were trading and doing stuff like that. And I asked them, what made you the most money? They said ICOs.
That is very true. That is very true. So why do you think the ICO space was so important? I was on the panel at the Litecoin Summit, and that question was asked. So I want to hear your answer.
They're so important because it was the biggest transfer of wealth in human history.
Yeah.
And anybody could be a part of it. And that was something really unheard of, because you had retail investors now really speculating and making the same returns as venture capitalists, a field which is really restricted to just rich people. Now, your average person could really make life-changing money from just speculating in ICO investment. And because so many people made money, I think that's why it's been so huge for the space.
Yeah. That question that we had on the panel, you know, I didn't say anything about it, but it was the first time somebody, the average Joe, could come up with an idea, market it, and don't have to pay hundreds of thousands of fees for going through an IPO, or, you know, going through something through a government or anything. It was the first time somebody can just go peer-to-peer with somebody they can market to online and get the revenue. And I think that really just changed the aspect of building a company. You know, you don't have to go through the big boys. You don't have to go to a big old bank, wear a suit and tie. You can actually just stand behind a camera and let your message out to billions of people.
I think that's both good and bad, right? That's kind of why the ICO bubble somewhat popped.
Yeah.
Or now it's basically evolving into something totally new with STO security tokens and security token offerings. But yeah, I think it was quite the run.
Yeah. All right. So the next question is, we're seeing all these regulations come down on these ICOs. You know, do you think the ICO market is dying in the United States?
I don't think it's dying per se. I mean, it's definitely not the same way it was 6 months ago, 12 months ago, right?
Okay.
There's cycles in every space, every market. If you go back and look at every market in the history, there are always cycles, right? The boom and bust cycles. It happened with the dot-com era. It's happened with real estate. It's happened with the stock market. So I feel like the ICO went boom and then bust, right? And now it really has to evolve. And what worked before won't work again, right? People really have companies and people and investors all have to innovate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think once that innovation happens, which is happening right now, as people are kind of leaving the space, and now the real people who actually care about the space and actually putting in work are still here, they can innovate, and then the cycle starts all over again.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the future. These institutional investors or institutional company builders, I think they may every once in a while try to pull off an ICO instead of going through the IPO. It's just way much cheaper. And with you having Ethereum to making smart contracts in the United States is really taking these contracts serious, you're cutting out lawyers, and I think that is.
I think that's good, but it's not exactly the main benefits in terms of why people or companies or entrepreneurs are gravitating towards ICO.
Okay.
Because having lawyers is good, right? As we saw with all the judgments the SEC has been issuing to ICOs, calling them security tokens,
mm-hmm.
and all the legal things they've been doing, right? Regulation is now coming to clean up the space. And having lawyers is good. I think the real value add, the benefits of tokenizing your ecosystem via a token is really community building, right? Building a community, you're making them feel like they're a part of something, like they belong to something. Even if it's not really giving them equity, right? They mm-hmm. still feel like they can belong. But now the real innovation, I think, going forward is giving people actual equity, right? Being able to tokenize that via a security token and having people actually own a piece of something you're building. So I think that's why the space is really not just trying to kind of evolve towards security tokens and STOs, although that does kind of hinder the initial ethos of bringing everybody into the ecosystem, because with security tokens, the regulation is much tighter, the KYC is much tighter, the requirements are more stringent. But not everybody can really be part of the ecosystem. But I think security tokens and also utility tokens can coexist. We just have to figure out a way for them to coexist. Right? I don't think either one really has to kill the other. I think they can still mm-hmm. exist, but I think everything has to be in a legal manner with regulation. That's why lawyers aren't going anywhere. Right? The old adage is the best way to get rich is pulling the shovels to people going to the gold rush. And in a way, that's the lawyers. Right?
Yeah.
Bull market,
yeah.
Or regulation or no regulation, lawyers are still making money.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. So I've heard that, well, I think you said, I think you said, you really didn't hold any Bitcoin at one period of time. I don't know if that's changed, but was it just because of the growth rate of you can earn more?
Yes. So
okay.
During the ICO bull market, I wasn't really holding Bitcoin. The main goal for me was to make more Ethereum.
Okay.
So whenever I would take profits from ICO investments, I would always sell to Ether, then use that Ether to reinvest into new ICOs. Right. So
okay.
That was my goal. Nowadays, obviously, when it's a bear market, Bitcoin is more stable. It has less volatility than altcoins. So I've been preferring Bitcoin over Ether or altcoins, right?
Okay.
But as the market gets better, I then shift back to altcoins.
Okay. Have you heard of the RSK with they built a smart contract on top of the Bitcoin blockchain? Have you heard of any ICOs that will be coming off of there?
I mean, so I was an investor in RSK in the RIF token. I
Mm-hmm.
also went as far as Argentina last year to meet the team in Argentina. And I mean, what they're doing is really innovative. We just have to see if they can actually execute. They've had projects, and I believe also ICOs on their platform.
Okay.
They had a project called Tenko. Then they had some other ones. I know Coinbanks was building some stuff on their protocol. So I mean, they're definitely trying to go after Ethereum and really become the smart contract for Bitcoin, right? Because they recently had an announcement where they claimed that they have 45% of the proof of work uh, uh, processing power as Bitcoin, making them the second most secure protocol out there, more than Ethereum, right? So it's really interesting what they're trying to do, but I think that their path won't be easy, right? I think now there's so much innovation, so much competition that they really have to be unique. They can't just claim that
Mm-hmm.
they're going to work. It's just because they're working on it.
Okay. So we're not gonna keep all your time up. I know you're busy. The last question. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. The Lightning Network. I run a node in my house. Um, Hearing a tweet from the CEO of Twitter talking about Bitcoin Lightning, where do you see this going? Do you see every merchant using this? Because you have to, change up the wallets, and you got to have implement how these wallets work, because it's not like you can just send somebody an address. You can the address expires at the time. So do you see Bitcoin Lightning going anywhere, or everybody is just going to just resort to another currency to spend their cash?
I mean, I think Bitcoin right now is the favorite, right? It has the most dominance in terms
Mm-hmm.
of whether Bitcoin will be the sole winner. I don't think so. I think the space is big enough to have multiple winners. I
Okay.
think the technology, the Lightning Network technology and side chains and stuff like that will go mainstream eventually. Now, whether or not it's Bitcoin that's the winner, that I'm not so optimistic on. I mean, I love Bitcoin. I think it's obviously the most secure currency out there, the most
Okay.
optimistic one. But the space is really competitive now, right? And I mean, for example, if you look at the top 10 or top 20 cryptocurrencies right now, and
Mm-hmm.
compare that to last year, compare that to 2 years ago, right? It's a constant musical chairs, right? So to say that Bitcoin is going to be the only one or the first one, I mean, probably the first one, but I think innovation happens so fast, and the
It
people are,
does.
and it's hard for Bitcoin to really specialize in multiple things and be the best at it. I think it's right now it's the best as a store of value. Now, whether it's going to be the best at that and also being the best for microtransactions and
Mm-hmm.
everything, I think it's going to be tough, right? Because other companies are focusing on the long tail, right? And it's really hard to win all the long tail if you're only really going to focus on a particular niche.
Okay. So thank you for the interview. Could you give some information of where people can reach you? You have a website or something, or on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah, so my website is ianbalina.com. That's
Okay.
ianbalina.com. You can also find me on YouTube, Ian Balina, or my handle, Diary of a Made Man. I post videos on blockchain, crypto, travel blogs from meeting entrepreneurs, going to conferences, and stuff like that. I also have some free materials from ebooks and videos and stuff like that on my site. And I also have a Telegram group with over 24,000 people in the space.
All right. Thank you guys again. Hit the like button, hit the subscriber button, hit the notification bell right next to the subscriber button. So anytime I bring up a video, there's a notification for you to see it. And all you guys have a good day, and all you guys have a good night, and enjoy the crypto life.